What's good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of Dear Truth. I'm your host, DR. Right now, I'm just leaving a gig. So right now, I'm thrown into a situation that is very hectic, very chaotic. They're in transition of remodeling the store that I'm at, and the store manager for that location is gone, so they left me in charge of all of his responsibilities and the mess that is made. And so, I guess sometimes when you least expect it, you're thrown into certain situations that you weren't even anticipating, dealing with, because that wasn't what was told to me when I took this position in this role. But here I am manning an entire store all by myself, with one new guy. And so, oh man, this guy just fell off his bike. Damn, I feel bad for him. Things happen. Just like I just said, ran into a situation where I'm in the middle of a chaotic state, but, sometimes you gotta roll with the punches. So, matter of fact, let's make this video about that. How to deal with chaos. All right? So, you may find yourself in a situation where you're thrown into it, and it's a lot more than what you anticipated. You were not expecting to be, in the middle of a shit show and a shit storm, and now it's all on you. What do you do in that situation? Well, the first thing you don't do is panic. You don't succumb to that situation and, lose your grip on reality, because you definitely start to become part of the chaos if you do that. So what you should do is understand, that you are thrown in a situation, in a series of unfortunate events, or just one big shit show of an event, and gather yourself, center yourself. Understand that, this is an outside factor. This has nothing to really do with me, whether it's, your fault or not, something that you did that caused the accident or the chaos at hand. Understand that that's just a reaction to, another event that predated it, So what you do in this situation? The first thing you got to do is analyze the situation. Start with the first thing that you possibly can. What I like to always do is, start with what's most important, and then do the first thing first to, satisfy the problem at hand. So, like right now, I'll give you an example of what's going on with me. So, like I said, the store manager is not at the store, so I'm, trying to fix all of the things that was already lined up before me. So I'm dealing with a new set of customers and a new environment. Things are in place that is, are in areas that I'm not used to. So, I'm learning a new environment. There's a system and a process that's already there that I'm having to learn to work through while incorporating my own system and my own processes. And so, yeah, it's a whole new world for me right now. Plus, the store's being remodeled, so I'm having to, be in conversation with the higher ups in the company about the logistics of everything that's happening. I'm having to work around a mess all day while they cut and saw and tearing down walls and, placing big pallets in the floor, and I have to walk around that. So it's just a shit show of a situation. But I do have to take into account and look at all the blessings that I have. For one, at least I have a gig that pays me pretty good. I'm able to still pursue my dreams and my, put some food on the table, have bills paid, and, buy myself something nice from time to time. So that's, a good way to look at it. I can start there, find something good to look at. Two, I can look at the fact that, I'm a young black man, dealing with a bunch of older white guys, in a corporate company, and they're looking to me for, decisions to be made. That brings a sense of pride to myself, especially coming from, a lot of situations where I came from, where I was overlooked, I was undervalued, And now I am here in charge of a situation where they're looking to me to, help execute it to, its fullest situation. I'm sorry, somebody's crossing the street. Plus, I'm exhausted. I'm really tired. There's a lot of man hours and physical work that needs to be done, and a lot of thinking, and that comes along with this job. And I had to man it all by myself today. So, with that being said, always remember too, God is watching your efforts. When it seems like nobody's around and you're doing the right things, and when you could be doing the wrong things, and nobody's giving you your praise and giving you your props, I guarantee you, man, it's a high power out there watching you. The reason why I know that is because I've been thrown in situations where I've always been overlooked for the most part. People never gave me my flowers, never showed me the respect that I felt I deserved. You know what I'm saying? Given situations, like for instance, I think I was a hell of an athlete. You know what I mean? And definitely could have went pro at something, but I was overlooked, and somebody chose somebody else over me. But that's neither here nor there. In work situations, though I was qualified to, be a supervisor in certain situations, they looked at my age and thought I was too young, and gave the position to somebody else. So, for other reasons, we're not gonna talk about race, but it happens. And, here we are, and I was overlooked. But all of my blessings that ever came to me came in private, especially like in the music industry, right? So I have run-ins with all these execs and stuff like that. But God always finds a way to make do for, his loved ones, you know what I'm saying? Those who, stick to that narrow, thin line of doing the right thing. And I promise you, my blessings have come not by me trying to get in with the people who I think have all the power. Nah, God leapfrogged over all them and delivered me directly to, situations that can't be taken from me. And I did it without signing a deal, without kissing anybody's ass, without having to beg for anything. God landed all my placements and all the situations in the music industry right in my hands directly, and I don't owe nobody. I have no ties to no labels, to no execs. I don't have no management. I don't owe nobody. And so, I'm grateful for that, and I understand that, I just keep living my life, and I understand that God got a bigger plan for me. And I always believe that, that source, the universe, God, however you want to look at it, I'm in tune with that player right there. I'm in tune with myself. I'm in tune with whatever he has, in front for me, bestowed before me, however that saying is. I trust in that, and I've been seeing my blessings come not through another man, but through a series of events that I couldn't have calculated myself. It came from a higher source, you know what I'm saying? Like one thing led to a next, and I've even been spared from situations because, I was just destined for something greater than what I could see for myself. So I'm always grateful for that. So if you find yourself in a situation that's unfortunate, just understand that is just a stumbling block. That's just a test. There's just something in the way to see if you can, be strong enough to overcome that situation. Can you handle what's, put in front of you and still, whistle Dixie while being, in a fucking chaotic shitstorm, So we all come into those situations, you might get your tire bust out in the rain, you know what I'm saying? You catch a flat tire in the rain. Are you gonna sit there and complain, or are you gonna, ground yourself and then, fix your tire and keep going? Are you gonna tear your car up along with your tire because, something happened to your tire? You're gonna hurt your hand punching on things? You're gonna hurt other people because you hurt? Or are you gonna overcome, and be a grounded individual and take responsibility for the situation, whether it was or whether not it wasn't your fault, Be the bigger person. Those are the tests, and I promise you, the more you can take on responsibility, just period, man, the more you bless, man. I can't stress that enough, Take it from one of the biggest crybabies on the planet, Always crying about what I feel like I deserve, you know what I'm saying? Always, you know, and I really truly felt I deserved it, you know what I'm saying? But those were my tests. The moment I, grounded myself, started doing for self and being to myself and stopped trying to get what I felt I deserved from somebody else who wasn't giving me what I felt I deserved, wasn't paying me any attention, didn't give me what I felt I deserved, like I just took what came my way and I started being grateful for the things that came my way, no matter how small they were. I always tried to do my best to look at it and, thank God for the little that I had, because honestly, man, it could always be worse. And one of my favorite quotes is, it can't rain all the time. The sun got to shine on you sometime, man. And when the sun shines, you just got to be grateful, So take that how you will. I just wanted to get on here and make a quick video. I stumbled a little bit through this one, but y'all bear with me, This is a new thing for me, and I'm, doing my best to deliver the thoughts that are in my mind, and share my thoughts and share my truths with you guys. And I appreciate you guys for the ones who do stop and listen, man. It means the world to me, really, honestly, because it's been a long time coming, and I wanted to create this channel for, people like myself who just need some guidance and need some help, man. And I've been alone in the dark for a very long time, and so I'm grateful that I'm in the space that I'm in to be able to share my mind and my thoughts and my ideas to try to just help somebody out, because it's, sometimes it's hard out here in this world, especially, with so much distraction and so much, chaos going on in the world. You can get caught up in that, and that ain't the best place to be, and you lose yourself in the midst of that. So for the ones who are lost like I was, trying to find their way, I do this for y'all, you know what I'm saying? And for myself, it's therapeutic to be able to say I've come a long way and to see how far I've come and to be able to speak like this, so I'm grateful. So to the ones who watching, I appreciate you so much. As always, be blessed, do your best to find peace and happiness in your life, and I'll see you on the next video. One.